so Chinese big cities, one of the things about them is that they're pedestrian friendly, but they're not disabled friendly, which is kind of a good thing and a bad thing. If you look on my left hand side here, you can see the big picture of what we're actually standing on. This is one of these gigantic pedestrian walkways that just sort of goes all the way around an intersection. You know, that way they're not sort of stopping traffic. So it's great for pedestrians. It makes things incredibly pedestrian friendly. But of course, just about every walkway, and this goes for the entrance into shops, there are steps. Steps, 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 steps. And very rarely will you see ramps anywhere for disabled people. Now, you don't see a lot of disabled people. I don't know why that is. Maybe they just end up being confined to their home due to the fact that they're disabled. But, I mean, you look behind me, just steps. Here's a little montage of shops with steps. Chinese big cities are really not made for disabled people. Behind me, you'll see a whole bunch of shop fronts, all with a single step. So, you know, a person in a wheelchair is supposed to get up there. There's more, there's lots more. There we go, those shops over there, they require 2 steps. Three steps to get into those shops. No mobility ramp either. These shops require you to walk up 4 steps. 4 steps. Five steps. This requires 5 steps. It's not going to be like Alcoholics Anonymous, you know, you're going to get into the 12-step program. Should we try it for 6? Well, I didn't find 6, but I found 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, now this is actually the exception to the rule. You very rarely see this. It's a mobility ramp for disabled people. That is pretty damn rare. You don't see that very often. Most shops don't have that. So you may be wondering, why am I making a video about this? This is a crazy thing to make a video about, of all things. Well, I mean, when you grow up in New Zealand, everything is wheelchair accessible. That's the way the government made it. Any buildings you go into, there's got to be an accessibility ramp. Just has to be. No choice. And for, you know, such an amazing situation, you know, and for as developed as China is, it just boggles the mind that people with wheelchairs can't get around. But you know, it's not just the shop fronts. I mean, here is the staircase leading up to one of these pedestrian walkway things that takes you across the road. Now that flat section in the middle here, this is actually really designed more for luggage. It's not really designed for wheelchairs. It's very steep. I don't know if a wheelchair would actually get up this thing before. I don't know if a wheelchair would be able to get up it. People mainly use it for, like that, for prams or for luggage. Hey, you know, a lack of footpaths is also a bit of a problem here. If you look behind me and look in front of me here. No footpath. Mayo.
Occupy the footpath.
We don't want a footpath. Just beep louder. Come on, beep louder. Go for it. You just need to beep louder next time. It will make the traffic go faster if you beep louder next time. Come on, just be more aggressive. Just go for it. See? Saying about lack of footpath. Now, there are disabled people in China. You don't see that many of them out there, but you know, they do exist. Coco's grandmother actually had to assist to get up this great big flight of stairs to go to a restaurant. You remember that? Yeah. So, you know, Coco's grandmother, so it's not just disabled people, but elderly people, you know, who are very old. They'll end up in these wheelchairs, and if they want to go somewhere, yeah, you literally pick them up and carry them. Please, China, make more mobility ramps for the disabled people and the elderly. That would be great. Make it a law or something. Cool. So just get on top of that, Mr. President Xi. That would be fantastic. Thanks, President Xi. I hope that's going to happen soon, right? I trust you, right? It's going to happen. Now, I can't really just totally criticize and say that nothing is being done at all to help disabled people, that type of thing, because you have a look down here. This is one of those cobbled areas that's designed for blind people to walk along. So if you're a blind person and you got a walking cane, you know, one of those white canes, yeah, you basically have a walk along this, you know, little cobbled line here, and that's something. That's something they're doing for the elderly and disabled. Doesn't fix the ramp issue though, does it?
You see, they are going to demolish all the buildings and build this here. So that's a picture here.
So these buildings are all, what, 6 floors?
Yeah.
And they don't have elevator, right?
No, only stairs. You see, that is the rest. They're going to be, you know, demolished.
So that's kind of part of the problem with accessibility for elderly and disabled in China, right? When they made these old buildings,
You can't do this.
all these old ones, are 6 or so stories tall and no elevator.
That one even 4 stories. You look at that.
Yeah, pretty old. So what does this billboard say?
The property developed company. So they're going to buy the whole section of here and demolish all the old buildings and rebuild new tall modern buildings. So these people have to move, but they all get compensation. They are going to be like this tall soon. All this whole area. Among this tall building, you can see there's definitely a difference.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this little insight into China's inaccessibility for disabled and elderly. It's a work in progress, but I think they got a long way to go. They'll get there.